Kumi, and welcome back, Rising Queens. This is Tiffany Michael giving you the precious gem for this week. I want to talk to you all about leadership and how to not only take advantage of it and embrace it, but to also learn how to own it. While some young ladies can effortlessly take on a leadership role, there are other young ladies that may be scared or nervous to take on such a role. When I was a teenage girl, I used to be scared about being a leader. I used to think that leaders were people who were very intelligent and confident, and that they never made mistakes. I used to look at the other students in my class and thought how smart and courageous they were because they took leadership on certain activities. However, I realized as an adult that the reason I felt that way was because I didn't feel that way about myself. I didn't feel that I had the confidence and the intelligence to lead. So, I became comfortable with playing the background for a long time until I got to college. When I was an undergraduate student, I was a part of a hip-hop dance club called Arts in Motion. During my time being in that group, I began to display some qualities of leadership by volunteering to choreograph dances. The more liberties I took in creating and teaching dances, the more my confidence started to shine. Even the president of the club and the other members were realizing my leadership qualities. By the end of the semester, I was chosen to be the next president for the school year. Even though I was happy, deep down inside, I was scared and nervous to be president. My biggest fear was making mistakes and letting down all of the members of the group if I was not successful at being their leader. Overall, that year of me being president, there were some things that I was able to accomplish and one major thing that I was not able to accomplish, which was not being able to put together a spring performance. Although it was devastating for me, I learned many valuable lessons from that experience. Even with those lessons, I was able to apply them to other leadership opportunities during my career. Those valuable lessons that I learned are what I want to share with you, Rising Queens. Lesson number 1, leaders make mistakes. Throughout my experiences of leadership, I know that I have made many mistakes. But what I really had to learn was that it was okay to make mistakes. I also had to learn that mistakes can help us grow in any situation. For example, when I was president of Arts in Motion, I made a very stupid mistake of not having the money I made from our first performance on hand to use for the till for a skating event that I had planned. When the first few customers came to give their admission fee, one girl had a $20 bill. So I had to run back to my dorm, get the money, and run back to the event. Thankfully, one of my members had money on her to do the transaction while I was going to get the money. Mistakes are a part of the process of growth. Now, understand that I am not saying to purposely start chaos with the sake of saying, oh, that was a mistake. Still, approach anything that you do with integrity. You may make a mistake along the way, but if you do, remember not to be so hard on yourself. Learn from it and move forward. Lesson number 2, confidence is key. Going into a leadership role can be scary and nerve-wracking for some. While others can step into a leadership position with ease, there are some people that may get nervous and anxious when given such a great responsibility. I was nervous and scared when I became president of the dance club at my old college. It was my first leadership role. I was so worried about doing a great job leading that I became over anxious to the point where the group did not end up having a spring show. On top of that, I was a senior in college and juggling 5 to 6 classes, a job, an internship, and another extracurricular activity. I had a lot going on. After having an emotional meeting of coming to the conclusion of canceling our spring show, the next day I was at the cafeteria with my friend and ran into my vice president. we decided to sit down together and discuss what happened the night before. She told me that I lacked confidence in myself, as well as needing to control my emotions. Although it was a hard pill to swallow, it was a realization that was true about me. To be confident in yourself is to be trusting and certain of yourself, in your decisions, and in everything that you do. I didn't do that when I was president of Arts in Motion. I was indecisive on most things, and I didn't trust myself as much as I should have. I was unaware of the inner power and strength within me that I had to be an effective leader. But later on, I was given another chance to show that confidence by facilitating a girls' group at a public school when I was pursuing my Master's of Social Work degree. The more leadership opportunities I was given, the greater my confidence developed. Even though I was still nervous, there's a phrase that says, "Do it afraid." And that's what I did. I pushed through, despite my nervousness and fear. Lesson number 3. Leaders don't always have it all figured out. It's true. No matter what profession you are in, you will find that in most situations, your bosses are put in circumstances that will cause them to think fast on their feet. It may look as if they do it so efficiently and that the answer they gave was the best answer. Truthfully, they probably didn't have the proper answer and gave the answer that was a quick fix to the issue at hand. A former boss of mine told me that just because you are a leader doesn't mean you have it all figured out. There have been many times where I was put in situations where I had to think fast. Even though my solution may not have been the best, at the time being, it was a temporary quick fix to take care of a small problem to a bigger issue. For instance, there were 2 girls that were friends at first, but had a falling out and became enemies. One day, I was with one of the girls going to her classes collecting homework because she was going home. As we were walking the hallway, the other young lady came up to us trying to attack the girl that I was walking with. I stood between both of them, trying to prevent a fight. Eventually, that young lady left and walked away. I could have called for help, but I didn't have a radio on me because I wasn't given one. So I had to use the best method I could use to diffuse the situation. There will be circumstances in your life where you have to think fast. Your solution may or may not be the best one in that exact moment, but it will be the best one for now. Then, later on, you can figure out how to completely solve it. Lesson number 4. If you don't succeed at something, don't beat yourself up about it. I think we all can think of a time where we failed at something and took it really hard. Me not being able to carry out a spring show really set me back a lot. I continued to put so much blame and guilt on myself, making myself feel horrible, thinking that I was not good enough to be a leader because I had let my team down for not performing my best as president. But once I realized where I went wrong, I was able to correct my mistakes when I was given another opportunity to lead in small groups and in classrooms. Even when I did not succeed at something, I sat down with myself, figured out the errors, made the corrections, and got back up to do it again with a different approach. It's not the end of the world if something does not work out. If there is a plan that backfires, don't put so much blame and guilt on yourself. Remember that you did the best that you could do. Take some time to understand your mistakes, make out a plan of what to do differently, and act on those changes. Being a leader is not a walk in the park, but it is a necessary skill to have. Even if you have never been a leader in anything before, I challenge you to step out of your comfort zone of playing the background and volunteer to take lead. Whether if it's in a club that you are a part of, if you play sports, or if you are a part of a dance team, even if you are at home. Start with some small responsibilities. For example, you can volunteer to lead your team in warm-ups before basketball practice. If you are in a student government club and are in a meeting, you can offer ideas for an upcoming event for the school. You can also volunteer to wash the dishes after dinner, and if you have siblings, you can designate what roles they can take in the process. The more small responsibilities you volunteer to take, the more you will become comfortable with taking the lead on things. When you step into that leadership role, you will be confident and you will embrace it with ease. Even when mistakes happen, remember to know it's okay to learn from it. When challenges arise, you will do the best you can in the moment of making a quick decision. Every opportunity you take in this lifetime are opportunities of growth. In your life journey, they will be filled with lessons. The important thing is that you are evolving and not letting your mistakes define you. Be the leader that you were designed to be and step out of your comfort zone with confidence. Believe in yourself that you can do anything that you put your mind to. Thank you for joining me on this second episode of Precious Gems for the Rising Queen. Please leave a like and let me know your thoughts on this episode. Follow me on Instagram at Precious_Gems Podcast, Facebook at Precious Gems for the Rising Queen, TikTok and Snapchat at Precious Gems. Make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel at Precious Gems Podcast. Enjoy your week. Until next time, Talitha Kumi.